Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Korean ebook before it's gone. Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. Today, we'll learn conversational phrases about occupations. After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your job and ask what somebody does for a living. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your occupation PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
직업이 무엇입니까? 저는 예술가입니다.
Listen to it again, now with the English translation.
직업이 무엇입니까?
What do you do?
저는 예술가입니다.
I'm an artist. First of all, you need to learn how to say, what do you do? That's.
직업이 무엇입니까?
Listen to it again.
직업이 무엇입니까? 직업이 무엇입니까?
Now, how do you answer this question? This is the pattern you'll need.
저는
Your occupation.
입니다.
I'm a, an, your occupation. For example, I'm an artist.
저는 예술가입니다. 저는 예술가입니다.
Here are a few more professions you can use with the same pattern. Police officer,
경찰, 경찰.
teacher,
선생님, 선생님.
doctor,
의사, 의사.
engineer,
엔지니어, 엔지니어.
Now, listen to some examples.
직업이 무엇입니까? 저는 선생님입니다. 직업이 무엇입니까? 저는 의사입니다. 직업이 무엇입니까? 저는 엔지니어입니다.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what do you do?
직업이 무엇입니까?
Imagine you're a doctor. Do you remember how to say, doctor?
의사, 의사.
Say, I'm a doctor.
저는 의사입니다.
Now answer the question saying that you are a doctor.
직업이 무엇입니까? 저는 의사입니다.
Now, imagine you're a teacher. Do you remember how to say teacher?
선생님, 선생님.
Say, I'm a teacher.
저는 선생님입니다.
Now, answer the question saying that you are a teacher.
직업이 무엇입니까? 저는 선생님입니다.
Now, imagine you're an engineer. Do you remember how to say engineer?
엔지니어, 엔지니어.
Say, I'm an engineer.
저는 엔지니어입니다.
Now, answer the question saying that you are an engineer.
직업이 무엇입니까? 저는 엔지니어입니다.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, how's your mother? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about well-being and ask how someone is doing. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Conversation About Family Well-Being PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
어머니는 어떠셔? 어머니는 괜찮으셔.
Once more with the English translation.
어머니는 어떠셔?
How's your mother?
어머니는 괜찮으셔.
She's fine. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how's your mother? That's,
어머니는 어떠셔?
listen to it again.
어머니는 어떠셔? 어머니는 어떠셔?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
어머니는
state of well-being. This Korean sentence literally means, my mother is, but it translates as, she is state of well-being in English. For example, she's fine.
어머니는 괜찮으셔. 어머니는 괜찮으셔.
Here are a few expressions related to well-being that you can use with this pattern. Great,
잘 지내는 잘 지내는
fine,
괜찮은 괜찮은
so-so,
그냥 그런 그냥 그런
not good,
안 괜찮은 안 괜찮은
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
어머니는 어떠셔? 어머니는 잘 지내셔. 어머니는 어떠셔? 어머니는 그냥 그러셔. 어머니는 어떠셔? 어머니는 안 괜찮으셔.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how's your mother?
어머니는 어떠셔?
Imagine she's great. Do you remember how to say great?
잘 지내는? 잘 지내는?
Say, she's great.
어머니는 잘 지내셔.
Now, answer the question saying she's great.
어머니는 어떠셔? 어머니는 잘 지내셔.
Now imagine she's so-so. Do you remember how to say so-so?
그냥 그런. 그냥 그런.
Say, she's so-so.
어머니는 그냥 그러셔.
Now, answer the question saying she's so-so.
어머니는 어떠셔? 어머니는 그냥 그러셔.
Now imagine she's not good. Do you remember how to say not good?
안 괜찮은. 안 괜찮은.
Say, she's not good.
어머니는 안 괜찮으셔.
Now, answer the question saying she's not good.
어머니는 어떠셔? 어머니는 안 괜찮으셔.
Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1, find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's the matter? After watching this video, you'll be able to make complaints and ask someone else if they're having any issues. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making Complaints PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
괜찮아요?
사무실이 덥습니다.
Once more with the English translation.
괜찮아요?
What's the matter?
사무실이 덥습니다.
The office is hot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's the matter? That's,
괜찮아요?
listen to it again.
괜찮아요? 괜찮아요?
This Korean sentence literally translates into, are you all right? But it means, what's the matter in English. Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
사무실이
adjective.
니다.
This Korean sentence literally translates into, the office adjective is, but it means, the office is adjective in English. For example, the office is hot.
사무실이 덥습니다. 사무실이 덥습니다.
Here are a few more examples you can use with the same pattern to make complaints. Hot,
덥다. 덥다.
cold,
춥다. 춥다.
noisy,
시끄럽다. 시끄럽다.
dirty,
더럽다. 더럽다.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
괜찮아요? 사무실이 춥습니다. 괜찮아요? 사무실이 시끄럽습니다. 괜찮아요? 사무실이 더럽습니다.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What's the matter?"
괜찮아요?
Imagine the office is cold. Do you remember how to say cold?
춥다. 춥다.
Say, the office is cold.
사무실이 춥습니다.
Now answer the question saying the office is cold.
괜찮아요? 사무실이 춥습니다.
Now imagine the office is noisy. Do you remember how to say noisy?
시끄럽다. 시끄럽다.
Say, the office is noisy.
사무실이 시끄럽습니다.
Now, answer the question saying the office is noisy.
괜찮아요? 사무실이 시끄럽습니다.
Now imagine the office is dirty. Do you remember how to say dirty?
더럽다. 더럽다.
Say, the office is dirty.
사무실이 더럽습니다.
Now answer the question saying the office is dirty.
괜찮아요? 사무실이 더럽습니다.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to ask and answer the question, how do you say this? After watching this video, you'll be able to ask someone how a word is pronounced. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your How to Say Something PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
그것은 주차장입니다.
Once more with the English translation.
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
How do you say this?
그것은 주차장입니다.
It's parking lot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how do you say this? That's,
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
listen to it again.
이것을 뭐라고 말해요? 이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
This Korean sentence literally translates into, this how say? But it means, how do you say this in English? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
그것은
word.
입니다.
This Korean sentence literally translates into, that word is, but it means it's word in English. For example, it's parking lot.
그것은 주차장입니다. 그것은 주차장입니다.
Here are a few useful words you can use with the same pattern. Parking lot,
주차장, 주차장,
giraffe,
기린, 기린,
travel,
여행, 여행,
invasion,
침략, 침략,
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
그것은 기린입니다.
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
그것은 여행입니다.
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
그것은 침략입니다.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "How do you say this?"
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
Imagine it's the word giraffe. Do you remember how to say giraffe?
기린, 기린,
Say, "It's giraffe."
그것은 기린입니다.
Now answer the question saying, "It's giraffe."
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
그것은 기린입니다.
Now imagine the word is travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
여행, 여행,
Say, "It's travel."
그것은 여행입니다.
Now answer the question saying it's travel.
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
그것은 여행입니다.
Now imagine the word is invasion. Do you remember how to say invasion?
침략, 침략,
Say, "It's invasion."
그것은 침략입니다.
Now answer the question saying it's invasion.
이것을 뭐라고 말해요?
그것은 침략입니다.
Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
You've studied for a while and are ready to talk to people and practice what you've learned. But where do you start? Starting a conversation in a new language can seem a bit intimidating. How do you just jump into it? In this video, we'll look at 5 ways to start conversations. Number 1, introduce yourself in your target language. This is usually one of the first things you learn when you start studying a new language. And sometimes starting a conversation, or continuing one, is as simple as introducing yourself. Number 2, talking about the weather. This is a universal talking point. People talk about the weather all over the world. And just saying, "It's really nice today," is enough to start a conversation. A great way to practice your weather conversation skills is to check out our Can-Do lesson pathway. This series of lessons teaches you how to talk about the weather in your target language. Number 3, give compliments. Compliments are a great way to start a conversation. You can compliment something about your conversation partner's city, country, or something specific to them personally. "Hey, your bag is super cute," or "That ice cream looks delicious." These kinds of compliments can lead to further conversation about what you complimented. In this case, it could be fashion or a local restaurant. This is a great way to make quick connections with people. Number 4, ask for help. For example, you can ask for directions, ask about prices, or request recommendations for restaurants or shopping spots, and let the conversation go from there. People are usually happy to lend a helping hand to tourists who are visiting their city. Number 5. Learn phrases for transactions. This can include getting a room at a hotel or telling a taxi driver where to go. When you're traveling overseas, you'll need to talk to other people in your target language. And while this might be a bit scary at first, you'll find that the people you meet are just happy that you're trying to communicate with them. So get started talking in your target language now. For even more tips on how to start conversations, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's your favorite number? After watching this video, you'll be able to say many numbers and ask someone their favorite number. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Numbers PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요? 7이에요.
Once more with the English translation.
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요?
What's your favorite number?
7이에요.
It's 7. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's your favorite number? That's,
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요?
listen to it again.
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요? 좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요?
This Korean sentence literally translates into, favorite number is what? But it means, what's your favorite number in English? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is, number.
이에요. 이에요.
This Korean sentence literally translates into, number it is, but it means, its number in English. For example, it's 7.
7이에요. 7이에요.
Here are a few more numbers you can use with the same pattern. 7,
7. 7.
2,
2. 2.
4,
4. 4.
9,
9. 9.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요? 2예요. 좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요? 4예요. 좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요? 9예요.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what's your favorite number?
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요?
Imagine it's 2. Do you remember how to say 2?
2. 2.
Say, it's 2.
2예요.
Now answer the question saying, it's 2.
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요? 2예요.
Now imagine it's 4. Do you remember how to say 4?
4. 4.
Say, it's 4.
4예요.
Now answer the question by saying, it's 4.
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요? 4예요.
Now imagine it's 9. Do you remember how to say 9?
9. 9.
Say, it's 9.
9예요.
Now answer the question saying, it's 9.
좋아하는 숫자가 뭐예요? 9예요.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what kind of movies do you like? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about movies and ask other people about their favorite kinds of movies. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Movies and TV PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
공포 영화가 좋아요.
Once more with the English translation.
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
What kind of movies do you like?
공포 영화가 좋아요.
I like horror movies. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what kind of movies do you like? That's,
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
listen to it again.
어떤 영화가 좋아요? 어떤 영화가 좋아요?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is type of movie.
가 좋아요.
This Korean sentence literally translates as type of movie I like, but it means I like type of movie movies. For example, I like horror movies.
공포 영화가 좋아요. 공포 영화가 좋아요.
Here are a few more kinds of movies you can use with the same pattern to talk about movies. Horror,
공포 영화. 공포 영화.
comedy,
코미디 영화. 코미디 영화.
fantasy,
판타지 영화. 판타지 영화.
romance,
로맨스 영화. 로맨스 영화.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
코미디 영화가 좋아요.
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
판타지 영화가 좋아요.
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
로맨스 영화가 좋아요.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What kind of movies do you like?"
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
Imagine you like comedies. Do you remember how to say comedy?
코미디 영화, 코미디 영화,
Say, I like comedies.
코미디 영화가 좋아요.
Now answer the question saying that you like comedies.
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
코미디 영화가 좋아요.
Now imagine that you like fantasy movies. Do you remember how to say fantasy?
판타지 영화, 판타지 영화,
Say, I like fantasy movies.
판타지 영화가 좋아요.
Now, answer the question saying you like fantasy movies.
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
판타지 영화가 좋아요.
Now imagine you like romantic movies. Do you remember how to say romantic?
로맨스 영화, 로맨스 영화,
Say, I like romantic movies.
로맨스 영화가 좋아요.
Now answer the question saying you like romantic movies.
어떤 영화가 좋아요?
로맨스 영화가 좋아요.
Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what are you doing during the holiday? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your holiday plans. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your National Holidays PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
추석에 어디 가요?
바닷가에 갈 계획이에요.
Once more with the English translation.
추석에 어디 가요?
What are you doing for Korean Thanksgiving?
바닷가에 갈 계획이에요.
I'm planning to go to the beach. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what are you doing for Korean Thanksgiving? That's
추석에 어디 가요?
Chuseok is a 3-day harvest festival celebrated when there is a full moon on the 15th day of the 8th month of the lunar calendar. Listen to it again.
추석에 어디 가요? 추석에 어디 가요?
This Korean sentence literally translates as, where are you going during Korean Thanksgiving? But it means, what are you doing for Korean Thanksgiving? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is plan.
일 계획이에요.
I'm planning to plan. For example, I'm planning to go to the beach.
바닷가에 갈 계획이에요. 바닷가에 갈 계획이에요.
Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk about your plans. Go to the beach.
바닷가에 가다. 바닷가에 가다.
Travel.
여행하다. 여행하다.
Stay home.
집에 있다. 집에 있다.
Go to the movies.
영화관에 가다. 영화관에 가다.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
추석에 어디 가요? 여행할 계획이에요. 추석에 어디 가요? 집에 있을 계획이에요. 추석에 어디 가요? 영화관에 갈 계획이에요.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What are you doing for Korean Thanksgiving?"
추석에 어디 가요?
Imagine you're planning to travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
여행하다. 여행하다.
Say, I'm planning to travel.
여행할 계획이에요.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to travel.
추석에 어디 가요? 여행할 계획이에요.
Now, imagine you're planning to stay home. Do you remember how to say stay home?
집에 있다. 집에 있다.
Say, I'm planning to stay home.
집에 있을 계획이에요.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to stay home.
추석에 어디 가요? 집에 있을 계획이에요.
Now imagine you're planning to go to the movies. Do you remember how to say go to the movies?
영화관에 가다. 영화관에 가다.
Say, I'm planning to go to the movies.
영화관에 갈 계획이에요.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to go to the movies.
추석에 어디 가요? 영화관에 갈 계획이에요.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to use when talking on the phone. After watching this video, you'll be able to ask for someone on the phone and to put someone on hold. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making a Phone Call PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
여보세요. 담당자와 통화하고 싶은데요.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
Once more with the English translation.
여보세요. 담당자와 통화하고 싶은데요.
Hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
Okay, just a moment. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say hello on the phone. That's
여보세요. 여보세요.
Then you'll need to learn how to say, I'd like to speak with person. The pattern is person.
와, 과, 통화하고 싶은데요.
This Korean sentence literally translates as person with talk on the phone want, but it means I'd like to speak with person. For example, hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
여보세요. 담당자와 통화하고 싶은데요. 여보세요. 담당자와 통화하고 싶은데요.
Now, how do you answer this question?
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
Okay, just a moment. Listen to it again.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요. 네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
This Korean sentence literally translates as, yes, moment wait, but it means, okay, just a moment. Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk on the phone. The person in charge,
담당자, 담당자,
a sales representative,
영업사원, 영업사원,
the manager,
매니저, 매니저,
customer service,
고객 서비스, 고객 서비스,
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
영업사원과 통화하고 싶은데요.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
매니저와 통화하고 싶은데요.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
고객 서비스와 통화하고 싶은데요.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, I'd like to speak with person? Person.
와, 과, 통화하고 싶은데요.
And how do you answer it?
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
Imagine you want to talk to a sales representative. Do you remember how to say, a sales representative?
영업사원, 영업사원,
Say, I'd like to speak with a sales representative.
영업사원과 통화하고 싶은데요.
Now say you want to talk to a sales representative and answer it.
영업사원과 통화하고 싶은데요.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
Now, imagine you want to talk to the manager. Do you remember how to say, the manager?
매니저, 매니저,
Say, I'd like to speak with the manager.
매니저와 통화하고 싶은데요.
Now say you want to talk to the manager and answer it.
매니저와 통화하고 싶은데요.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
Now imagine you want to talk to customer service. Do you remember how to say customer service?
고객 서비스, 고객 서비스,
Say, I'd like to speak with customer service.
고객 서비스와 통화하고 싶은데요.
Now say you want to talk to customer service and answer it.
고객 서비스와 통화하고 싶은데요.
네, 잠시만 기다려 주세요.
Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
Want to speak and understand more of your target language? If so, of course, you'll need to know more words and phrases than you do now. In this video, we'll cover 5 ways to master new words and phrases fast. Number 1, use our free vocabulary list. This is a free library of vocabulary and phrase lessons for all kinds of situations. You can learn words and phrases for current events, holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving, and useful topics like the top 10 ways to say hello, conversational phrases, and more. You'll learn phrases that you won't find in textbooks. If you want to learn extra fast, use the slideshow tool. Just tap or click on View Slideshow, then sit back and review the words and phrases. Find the vocabulary list in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. These vocabulary lists are free for all users. Number 2, take the audio and video lessons. One of the best ways to learn new words is by hearing and using them in conversations. This is because it gives you the opportunity to understand how the words are actually used. In every lesson dialogue, you'll likely come across some words you don't know. But don't worry, because our teachers translate everything. When you hear the conversation again at the end of the lesson, you'll be familiar with the words you didn't know at first. Number 3, learn with our 2,000 most common words list. A quick question. How many words do you think you need for conversational fluency? 3,000? 5,000? It's actually not as many as you think. Language experts say you need about 1,500 words to reach conversational fluency. With our 2,000 most common words list, you'll get access to key vocabulary words you need to boost your conversation skills. The words are broken down into simple categories, such as adjectives, nouns, verbs, food, drinks, numbers, months, and so on. So you can go category by category and focus on what you're most interested in first. With this tip, we're not talking about paper flashcards. We're talking about the smart flashcards that you can find in our premium study tools. This is an automatic system individualized for each member based on their study needs. First, you'll use the cards to check your knowledge. Then, according to your answers, the cards will be sorted according to which words you need more practice with. Words that you struggle with will be shown to you more and more. You'll see words that you know well less often. This system helps you study more efficiently. It displays the words you need to work on and knows when you should refresh your knowledge. This helps make sure you don't forget vocabulary. In every study session, these cards will help you refresh your memory on the words you learned last time and introduce new words. Number 5, use the words. After you learn a new word, using it right away is crucial to remembering it. So, when you're done with a lesson or a vocab list, here's something you can do. Leave a comment. Make up a sample sentence and post it in the comment section. Write it down in a notebook, or shadow the word with a lessons dialogue. Our language learning program is full of tools that can help you speak more. Just pick one and get started. If you want to unlock all of these study tools, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui. Welcome back to Korean Top Words. In this lesson, we'll be talking about top 10 phrases tourists should never use. Let's begin. 역겨워. That's disgusting. 역겨워. That's disgusting. Yeah, I think there might be some part of the culture that you don't like, but if you just say 역겨워, that's disgusting, I think that just shows how much you're not ready to accept a different culture. I think that's not good to say. 우리나라가 낫다. My country is better. 우리나라가 낫다. My country is better. In Korean, it's better to say 우리나라 when you want to say my country. 내 나라 is the phrase meaning my country literally, but it sounds a little bit unusual. So 우리나라, which means our country, is better to say when you want to say my country. 차라리 집에 가고 싶다. I'd rather be back home. 차라리 집에 가고 싶다. I'd rather be back home. I sometimes think like that. I don't say it. I think that's the point. You can think like, I want to go back home because, I'm tired. Because when you take a vacation for like several months, I think there will be the moment that you're no longer taking anything new. So I think you can think about it, but saying it to other person, especially to someone who lives in that country, might not a good idea, I believe. 닥쳐. Shut up. 닥쳐. Shut up. do people use that? Not only for tourists, but also for anyone. I think it's rude to say 닥쳐. There might be some moments that you really have to say, but I don't think it's a good idea to say it often, even though you don't like something. 당신의 문화에 대해 별로 관심 없어요. I'm not very interested in your culture. 당신의 문화에 대해 별로 관심 없어요. I'm not very interested in your culture. I think I heard something like that in the past. I'm not sure where, but it's not good to hear that. Not only about the culture, if someone says this, I think it means something like, you know, he or she is really not interested in anything else but him or herself. So, 그냥 맥도날드 가서 먹자. Let's just eat at McDonald's. 그냥 맥도날드 가서 먹자. Let's just eat at McDonald's. I used to be like that actually. Like when I traveled in 20s, I think I only focused on sightseeing. Like I wanted to make a list of the things to go, things to do, and then do that one by one. Like I remember I was making the plan by minutes, like saying, you know, 7:35, I go there. So since I was super busy to go to place A, B, C, D, E, I really didn't think about having a nice meal. So I usually just went to McDonald's or Burger King's, like that kind of fast food restaurants. And these days I can see the main things about my trip is all about the food. So I think that's kind of the big change in my style for having a trip. 이거 맛이 끔찍해. This tastes awful. 이거 맛이 끔찍해. This tastes awful. If you travel in Korea, I think there might be some food that you might not like. Some Korean people say that because they really like the honesty. I think you can say that when you think the other person's really talk directly. But if you know, your friends in Korea, they are not direct, I think it's better to say something else. Like for example, if you don't like the taste, you can find another food that tastes better and say, 아, 이거 맛있어. This tastes good. And just keep eating it. 호텔에서 하루 종일 있을래. I'm going to spend the day in the hotel. 호텔에서 하루 종일 있을래. I'm going to spend the day in the hotel. I'm this kind of person. I eat, come back to hotel, spend a day, and go out and eat and just come back, I think. It's important to find who is sharing your style together. Like, if your friend really want to go outside and do a lot of activities, I think it's not a good idea to say it in the morning. If you really want to get relaxed at a hotel, I think you can say that. That will be okay. But if you mean something like, I'm tired of trying anything, I'm tired of speaking, you know, their languages, I think it means something mean, like, you know, it means something like, then why are you here? Like, why you spend your money for a trip? So I think it depends on the meaning of the phrase. 호텔에서 하루 종일 있을래. 이거 바보 같아. This is stupid. 이거 바보 같아. This is stupid. That happens to me like when I go to a country and if they follow some different rules. So instead of saying 이거 바보 같아, this is stupid, I think it's better to try to understand what's behind and why they follow that. 이 사람들 미개해. These people are uncivilized. 이 사람들 미개해. These people are uncivilized. I never heard this phrase, so if someone really says that, I think I'll be really shocked. Okay, that's top 10 phrases tourists should never use. I hope you don't use some of the phrases when you travel. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요.
You are at a train station where you're attempting to buy an express ticket from a ticket machine. Which option should you choose to buy an express ticket? Which option should you choose to buy an express ticket? The option on the bottom left is for an express ticket.
직통,
You are at a train station where you've just bought an express ticket. Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? The ticket says that you're in train car number 1 in seat 8C.
1호차 8시석,
You are at a train station where you're reading the train schedule for an express ticket that you've just bought. On which days are there no express trains running? On which days are there no express trains running? There are no express trains running on public holidays and the third Sunday of every month.
법정 공휴일, 매달 세 번째 일요일.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Korean. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Korean grammar. Word order refers to the order in which words are structured to form a sentence in a given language. Consider the English sentence, I saw a movie. But first, let's remove the article a here for simplicity. So we're just left with I saw movie. The basic word order for English is subject, verb, object, or SVO for short. If we break down the English sentence, I saw a movie, we can see that the subject I is presented first, followed by the verb saw, and then finally the object movie is positioned last. This is the basic word order for sentences in English.
Now, let's compare the same sentence, I saw a movie, in Korean. 나는 영화를 봤어요. If we break down the Korean sentence, we get the subject 나, meaning I, then comes the object 영화, meaning movie, and finally we have the verb 봤어요, meaning saw. The word order for Korean then is subject, object, verb, or SOV for short.
In both languages, the subject is presented first. In English, though, it's followed by the verb and then the object, compared to the object being first and the verb last in Korean. The same sentence in Korean is essentially I movie saw, subject first, then object, and verb last, SOV. This is the basic word order for sentences in Korean.
Okay, let's move on to the next section.
English is what is called a subject-prominent language. This simply means that the subject is slightly more important than other components in the sentence. It's the key piece of information other components in the sentence relate to. Who is doing the action is slightly more important than what is being done or which object it's been done to in English. If we had to slowly remove pieces of information from a sentence while trying to keep its essence intact, logically we would do so in order of least important to most important. If we were to omit the subject, we would get saw a movie, which sounds strange. On the other hand, if we were to omit the object instead, the sentence would become I saw. Even though in each instance we omitted a piece of information, the reason I saw sounds less strange is because we've yet to break any grammatical rules, and so there's still potential for the sentence fragment to become a complete sentence and to become grammatically correct. Since the latter is logical, this indicates that the subject is more important than the object in English. The same is true if we had omitted the verb. Since the subject is the integral component in the sentence, this makes English a subject-prominent language.
Korean, on the other hand, is a topic-prominent language. Unlike English, the focus of each Korean sentence is the topic, not the subject. Essentially, the watched a movie portion, 영화를 봤어요, is the main focus of the sentence. The subject I can be omitted.
In fact, if it's obvious what the subject is, or if it's already been established, it's quite normal to omit the subject from the conversation altogether in Korean. Let's look at this aspect in a bit more detail. More often than not, if you wanted to say, I saw a movie in Korean, you would not say,
나는 영화를 봤어요.
Instead, you would more likely say, movie saw in Korean.
영화를 봤어요.
Korean is a topic-prominent language. Thus, the information to be shared is the act of seeing a movie. The subject is less important and is usually omitted altogether. Most Korean sentences are constructed and spoken like this in real life.
영화를 봤어요.
On the other hand, when it's unclear who or what the subject is, or if you wanted to place emphasis on the subject, like if you wanted to specify from a group of people that it was you who saw the movie, then you would include the subject.
제가 영화를 봤어요.
But more often than not, in spoken Korean, you can omit the subject, particularly if that subject is you.
선물을 샀어요. 택시를 타고 돌아왔어요.
Knowing this, we can easily express any simple action in Korean using just the object and the verb. Try to create the sentence, I ate an apple, from these sets of words.
먹었어요. 사과를.
Got it? The object goes first, so let's put apple here. And the verb goes last, so let's put ate at the end. Finally, we connect them using the appropriate particle. And that's it.
사과를 먹었어요.
Which means, I ate an apple in Korean.
사과를 먹었어요.
Well done. Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that Korean sentences are formed using a subject-object-verb, or SOV, word order. The most important aspect of Korean sentences is not the subject, but the topic of the sentence. Most sentences spoken in Korean will not actually contain a subject, especially if that subject is obvious. And lastly, you can create basic sentences in Korean by putting the object first and the verb last. We've covered only the very basics of Korean grammar. If you're interested in learning more, check out our Korean in 3 Minutes video series. In that course, we teach you useful phrases while covering the fundamentals of Korean grammar, and each lesson is only 3 minutes long. Bye!
다음에 또 만나요. Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Korean questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I introduce myself in Korean? You can introduce yourself in 3 different ways in Korean. The most polite version, which ends in 입니다, the most common one, which ends in 예요 or 이에요, and the most casual version, which ends in 야 or 이야. Let's see some situations where you need to introduce yourself. Let's say you're at a job interview. In this case, you want to use the most polite version. For example, if I want to say my name is Jae-hwi Lee, using this version, I'll say 이재휘입니다, using 입니다 at the end. It's safe to use this introduction in any formal or professional setting. If you want to be polite but not too formal, you can use the 예요 or 이에요 ending. The ending depends on whether your name ends in a vowel or consonant. Since my name is Jae-hwi, which ends in a vowel, I'll use 예요. So the whole introduction will be 재휘예요. If your name ends in a consonant, like the common Korean female name 지현, then you use the 이에요 ending. Therefore, the whole introduction will be 지현이에요, using 이에요 at the end. This is the most common way to introduce yourself. The last version is really casual, so be careful when you use it. Again, the ending depends on whether your name ends in a vowel or consonant. With my name, Jae-hui, I'll use the ya ending. Therefore, the whole phrase would sound like Jae-hui-ya. For the name I mentioned before, Ji-hyun, she would use the iya ending, so her introduction would sound like Ji-hyun-ya. You can use this version only when you're absolutely sure the person is younger than you or the same age. However, once you're out of school, it's better to use the more polite forms. And that's it. Just pick the appropriate introduction for your situation. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. See you next time. 다음 시간에 만나요. Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of the most common Korean questions. The question for this lesson is, when should I use the humble form of verbs in Korean? There are some verbs in Korean that have humble forms and don't sound like their casual counterparts. We use these verbs when we refer to ourselves in formal situations. Two examples are 들이다 and 여쭈다. These two verbs are used instead of 주다 and 묻다 for to give and to ask respectively. Let's do some examples so you can learn how to use the humble forms of these verbs correctly. Let's say you want to ask a professor a question. How do you say, I'd like to ask you something? To show respect to your professor, you should use the humble form of to ask, 여쭈다, and say, 뭐 좀 여쭐게요. 좀 is another verb that makes your sentence sound softer. It sounds more polite than saying 뭐 좀 물어볼게요 because it uses the humble verb. Let's do another example. Now, you want to ask whether or not your classmate has turned in a group report. How do you say, did you give it to the professor? Here, even though you're talking to your friend, you're talking about the professor. So you still need to use the humble form and say, 교수님 드렸어? Did you give it to the professor? Here's a challenge. How can you say to your friend, give it to me, I'll give it to the professor? That's right. We need both 주다 and 드리다 for these sentences. 주다 for the first sentence and 드리다 for the second sentence. So you'll get 나 줘, 내가 교수님 드릴게, meaning give it to me, I'll give it to the professor. How was this lesson? I hope that clears things up. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. See you next time. 다음 시간에 만나요.
Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
안녕하세요, Amy예요. 반가워요. Hi everybody, I'm Amy. Welcome to KoreanClass101.com's 3분 한국어, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Korean. In the last lesson, we learned how to thank people by saying 감사합니다 and 고마워. In this lesson, we will learn some of the most common greetings used in Korea. Are you ready? Then let's start. The most common informal greeting is 안녕. 안녕. 안녕 means peace. We say it when we meet someone and also when we leave, but only to a friend or someone younger than us. The more standard greeting that you will hear a lot in Korea is 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Literally, 안녕하세요 means, are you at peace? We use it to say hello when we meet someone. It's technically a question, but we don't always say it that way. 안녕하세요. Because 안녕하세요 is a question, some people answer it with 예, which means yes, before replying with the same question, 안녕하세요. When it's time to leave, we have a couple different ways to say goodbye. If you're leaving and the other person is staying, say 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 계세요. 계세요 means please stay. So 안녕히 계세요 literally means please stay peacefully. A casual version of 안녕히 계세요 is 잘 있어. 잘 means well, and 있어 means stay informally. So 잘 있어 just means stay well. 잘 있어. If the other person is leaving, say 안녕히 가세요. 안녕히 가세요. 가세요 means please go. So 안녕히 가세요 literally means please go peacefully. A casual version of 안녕히 가세요 is 잘 가. 잘 means well, and 가 means go informally. So 잘 가 just means go well. Now you know lots of ways to greet people in Korean. Let's review them all once again. To greet someone casually, 안녕. To greet someone respectfully, 안녕하세요. To say goodbye respectfully when you're leaving and the other person is staying, 안녕히 계세요. To say goodbye casually when you're leaving, 잘 있어. To say goodbye respectfully when the other person is leaving, 안녕히 가세요. To say goodbye casually when the other person is leaving, 잘 가. During the next lesson, we will learn the meaning of the phrase 영어를 할 수 있어요? Do you already know it? We'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our new 3분 한국어 lesson. 여러분 안녕히 계세요. 다음에 봐요.
Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Korean ebook before it's gone.